million users, an $11 billion industry, and 10,000 active licenses in the United States. However, the sale and use of recreational marijuana is still illegal in all but 9 states in the United States. As someone who believes in social and economic equality, marijuana is something that I'm extremely passionate about passing the legalization for. Over 1/2 of US adults have used it at least once in their lifetime, and over 60% of Americans support legalization of recreational marijuana. People who support racial equality and economic equality should also be supporting the legalization of recreational marijuana. In order to remedy these issues, I would like to explain to you why you should help solve this problem because of both the environmental and racial inequality that is happening in the United States because of the illegal nature of the drug. By doing your part to help legalize recreational marijuana, we can help to solve these issues. First, we're going to begin by addressing the issues that come along with it being illegal. There are 2 major problems that come along with this. Number 1 is the racial discrepancy when it comes to arrests for marijuana-related crimes. Matt Ferner, in his article, Why Marijuana Should Be Legalized, says that there is a disproportionate number of people of color who are being incarcerated from cannabis-related offenses. Legalization would help to mediate this gap and make it more equal because there wouldn't be any incarcerations because of the crime. The American prison system right now is extremely overloaded, and the ratio of white to minority people is extremely unequal. Colorado Amendment 64 campaign explains that by legalizing recreational marijuana, it would generate over $10 million in criminal justice savings every single year. In turn, this would help clear out the prison system because there would be less of these non-violent drug-related offenses that are leading to incarceration. The second huge impact that this would have is the issue of the environment. Right now, because marijuana is illegal, the people who grow it are colonizing forest land to hide the large scale that they're using to grow the drug. This leads to people moving pesticides, waste, and irrigation right back into the ecosystem, which Doug Moss explains in his article, Half-Baked Idea, is nothing short of a toxic surge. Legalization would then, in turn, lead to higher standards of disposal for these toxic substances. This would also lessen the environmental impact of smuggling that occurs over the US and Mexico border. Right now, cartels use things like generators, diesel tanks, and animal poison to store drugs that are smuggled over the US-Mexico border. And the artificial energy and light that is used to help grow these drugs has a huge negative environmental impact and increases the carbon footprint of marijuana. If it were legal, there would be no reason for this drug to continue to be smuggled and hidden in secret, and therefore it would help the environment by not leading to these negative impacts. Now that we've explained the 2 major issues that come along with this, let's talk about how we can solve the issue of marijuana being legalized. As it's difficult to make an individual difference, we have to look at this at more of a federal level. In a study done by Paul Seaborn, in his article, Sessions' War on Pot Could Speed Up Marijuana Legalization, marijuana legalization is supported by over 61% of people in America. Right now, it's been legalized in some individual states, but this has to be done on the federal level for every state in the United States in order to solve for those environmental and racial gaps that we're seeing when it comes to marijuana. Right now, the United States has recreational marijuana illegal in 41 states, but we would be seeing a plethora of benefits by legalizing it. We've already talked about some of the environmental and racial positives that would come from this, but another huge impact that would happen would be the economy. Right now, sales are often done in private or under the radar, but much like things like tobacco or alcohol, marijuana would get a tax placed on it, which in turn would be injected right back into the economy. In 2018, the marijuana industry was expected to be over $11 billion, which is equal to the entirety of the US snack bar industry. The United States would also be seeing a huge amount of job growth from this. Aaron Smith, in his article, US Marijuana Industry is Booming, there are 9,397 licenses for marijuana businesses in the United States today. But if it were legalized on the federal level, we would be seeing this number go up immensely. And in turn, that would mean that there are more jobs as the demand begins to grow. So I urge you to support the legalization of recreational marijuana by writing your congressmen and representatives and voting in favor of legislation that supports the legalization of recreational marijuana in the United States. As we've said, this solves the negative environmental impact that is happening from illegal marijuana, and it helps to remedy the racial incarceration rates for nonviolent drug offenses that we're seeing in the US today. Every single American is going to be benefited from the positive economic results we're going to be seeing and the job growth that occurs when marijuana is legalized. Today, there is a huge negative connotation that surrounds the marijuana industry, but it's time for Americans to put the human impact first and destigmatize the marijuana crisis.